stop, format it, touch it, bring it, fade it, watch it, turn it, leave it, stop, format it.
Touch it, read it, learn it, teach it, everybody talk about it. Touch it, read it, learn it, teach it, everybody talk about it. All right, class. Part 3, final installment, piecewise functions. All right, our classwork for week 6 was mastering this idea of piecewise functions. Open circle, closed circle, positive slope, negative slope. All right, well, let's jump into it. Last 3 questions to consider. Now, this is kind of written funny, but this is what you would see on a Regents question. So let me get my magic pen and let's look at it. So it basically says that if I have a function x and it is less than or equal to 0, and I have another function x plus 1, and that's greater than 0, what is the graph going to look like? So let's break this into 2 parts. 2 parts. Yeah. Let's do this. 2 parts. Okay, first thing I want to do is I want to acknowledge that x is a positive number. So my slope is going to be positive. X plus 1 is also positive. So I'm going to have 2 positive slopes. Now, let's consider whether we have open circle or closed circle. So if I have x is greater than or equal to, that's a good key that this is going to be a closed circle opportunity. However, x is greater than is going to signify that this is going to be a open circle. All right, so let's bring all this full circle here as we're talking about circles. What do we know? We know that when x is negative or equal to 0, it's going to be positive and it's going to have a closed circle. We know that when x plus 1 is positive, it's going to also have a positive slope, but it's going to be an open circle. All right, and I've identified my functions by color. Red would be the negative or equal to, and green would be the positive. Okay. All right, so friends, what we have here is something that is almost correct, but it's not 100% correct. We got to pull this over here. Boom. All right. And then what we got to do is we got to turn this into a point, an arrow. An arrow. I guess there's an arrow here. We'll do an arrow. I don't like that. Don't have to be a perfectionist, but don't want to be wrong either. That's a good arrow. This has to be an arrow, and the reason it's an arrow is it's going in the opposite, is going in the negative and the positive direction to infinity. Sort of like that Toy Story movie, To Infinity and Beyond. Okay, now this is 100% correct. What we have here is the red represents values that are less than or equal to 0. All right, and then in green we have values that are greater than 0. All right, this is a piecewise function. This kind of question will be on that Wednesday weekly quiz. All right, this is our last one. So let's look at this as well. Let's break this down in bite-sized pieces. First of all, here's our two functions. as I see it. Okay, here it is. Okay. All right. So the function is 2x plus 3, and the other function is x minus x. All right, so let's look at 2x is a positive slope, whereas negative x is a negative slope. All right, that's important. All right, less than is a open circle. Whereas greater than or equal to is going to be a closed circle. Okay, let's evaluate the graph. Okay, so as you see, okay, as you see, we have a a negative slope right here, and that negative slope is going to have a closed circle. It means it's inclusive. All right, and then we have a positive slope with an open circle. All right, which means it's not inclusive. All right, and then not unlike my last problem, in order to make this 100% correct, I just need to put the arrows on there so it denotes that it goes on and on. All right. And there we go. Easy peasy. All right. So that's all I have for you. That's the classwork. So you have the answer key for the classwork. You have the answer key for the bell work. You have the answer key for the homework. You have all of these answer keys. There's absolutely no reason that you guys can be super successful as you study for this weekly quiz. Okay, doing good things. I'm seeing great things in class. 30 minutes of study a day keeps bad grades away. All right, keep at it.